This episode is brought to you by Trailer Park Yard Games, where over 28 games are delivered directly to your party. We park the trailer, you party.
I spent 20 years in the military.
Oh, awesome. Thank you for your service.
Oh, you're welcome.
Which branch?
Navy.
Thank you.
The only one, really.
Oh, snap.
Ooh.
Marine?
Okay.
Wow.
No, Air Force. Wow.
He was an airman.
Well, then the only thing I can ask you is how's your handicap?
Pow.
Wow.
Wow. I love it.
Oh, boy.
But at the end of my first tour, I actually considered becoming a policeman.
Let's have a chat, talk this and that with PB and Jaisy.
Hello and welcome to the PB and Jaisy show, podcast / video. If you guys are on YouTube. To my left, I have
Bill Stedham.
And then to my right, I have
Jaisy George.
And today, guys, I wanted to ask you, first of all, did y'all grow up in Mansfield? I think I know the answer to
Oh,
that.
Lord, no. I grew up
grew-
in California.
Yeah.
Long Beach, California.
Sorry to hear that.
I grew up a long ways away from here in a place called Grand Prairie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Did you get your passport to get over the border?
It's about 2 minutes this way.
So growing up, because I know you guys, you're a Mansfield resident, you're a Midlothian resident. Are y'all involved in your community at this point? Is it something that y'all...
Well, today I am, but growing up I certainly wasn't.
Okay.
Growing up I was a hoodlum.
I would say so. I'm very involved I'm president of my HOA, and I try to be involved in community events and all that. So
You're one of those ladies?
She's not the
I
HOA
feel like,
president.
yeah, I'm president.
Oh.
She is one of those ladies.
Kidding. I'm just kidding. So I asked that because I know I grew up in Mansfield, born and raised. My parents are from here. So always been a part of the community, but I don't know how much I ever really gave back. Recently, I've been a little more involved in learning some of the process. Our family farm is being sold, so I'm getting to see some of that side of the city too, which is interesting, and I think it's a great thing to at least be curious about. So if you are a part of a city, I think you need to plug in and start to learn some. And so the gentlemen that we have with us today, they're going to talk about a way to be involved, and I'll let you guys introduce yourself. Whoever wants to go first.
Well, I'm Kevin Flynn, and I'm the membership chairman and the treasurer for the Mansfield Citizens Police Academy Alumni Association.
Okay, that's a
That's a
mouthful.
mouthful.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's what I always say.
Yes. All right, and who are you?
I'm Dana Crook. I'm the president of the Mansfield Citizens Police Academy alumni.
Perfect.
Wow.
So tell us, what is the Police Academy? Or it's the Citizens Police Academy, right?
Right.
Okay, what is that?
Well, the Citizens Police Academy, they take in individuals that have never been really involved with the police department. They have a 12-week class, and it shows all aspects of what the police may do. They do different scenarios, shoot, don't shoot.
So it's like real life
Yeah.
police scenarios.
Training.
Okay,
Yeah,
training. Okay.
and they show all kinds of videos of exactly what has happened to officers and stuff like that. They do traffic stop practicals as well, and they do all kind of stuff that actually happened to police officers, and the students have to come up beside the vehicle and act like they're a police officer, and of course they have told everybody inside the vehicle what they want them to do
Right.
of stuff that actually happened.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I have a story about that.
Please, yes.
One of our past officers of the association was involved in my class, and he was one of the people in the car. And it was an old police vehicle that they were using, and it had a shotgun rack in the back.
Oh, wow.
And somehow he got his arm locked into the shotgun rack and he couldn't get him out of the car.
Oh, my God.
So they had to, get a key and do it. But that was really funny. Roger was just...
We've never seen that
one before.
This is a
that
new one.
was funny.
I have some previous police experience.
He's been arrested quite
I
a
don't
bit.
think I've been arrested ever, but one of the things that we used to say about people in police work is that if you put them in a concrete room with no doors, no windows, and no exits, and give them 2 ball bearings, when you come back to get them at the end of the day, one's going to be missing, one's going to be broken. And being a former police officer, I can say that. So I'm not.
Oh, okay.
Well, and I'm curious to know, so first of all, when did this start, and then what's kind of the purpose behind it? Like, what is the goal?
Dana, let me address that. The Citizens Police Academy alumni is a national organization,
Okay.
and it's the police department that has a civilian or a Citizens Police Academy. Graduates can form an alumni association, and then we do volunteering with them, and we also support them. We raise money to help them with things that they can't buy out of the budget, something that comes up urgent. So we've been able to do that, but also the class is very, very important. You can't be a member of our organization unless you go through the class.
So these are all guys that have gone through, did you say 12-week program?
Yeah.
Okay, so these are all guys that have gone through that program that are now a
Yes.
part, okay.
Yeah, we have about 44 members in our association.
Okay.
Not all active, but that's not uncommon with a nonprofit. You have your active people and you have your inactives, and they're all good people. And we like to we do charge the dues, and it's minimal, but sometimes there's opportunities where they can come and help us do things. Like Dana while I was on vacation, Dana did for National Police Week, we cooked for the police department.
Oh, awesome.
And then the second night, for the nighttime guys, some of our members did lasagna and banana pudding and garlic bread.
That sounds
and
amazing.
Salad. They ate very well.
Yeah, I was wanting to go up there that day.
I know, that's I'll volunteer.
So, it's the little things that mean a lot to these guys.
Yeah.
Because they put their life on the line every day.
Sure.
Mansfield is not a violent city, but you never know who's traveling 287.
Exactly, yeah.
So they're out there making a difference every day, and we want to make sure that they feel appreciated for what they do. And the good thing is that I think the citizens of Mansfield understand that the police department is a good police department.
For
Oh,
sure.
absolutely.
That's amazing.
So
How would someone get involved, or is there certain rules to qualify to join the academy?
you have to pass a background check, so you have to.
Oh, you're
You
out.
may have problems. I was going to mention that because if you're interested in going through the class, and you don't have to be a member of our association afterwards, it's not necessary, because we have a lot of people that go through the academy just for the awareness of the police department and what they do every day. So you can go on the website at the city, the police website, and look for Community Relations Division, and under the Community Relations Division, it'll have the link to the Citizens Police Academy, and you fill out the application and send it in. All the information is there.
And how often do y'all hold these classes?
Well, the police department holds it. We
Okay.
just help. It's twice a year.
Okay.
Yeah, there's
so
a
you guys
class-
are just supporting the program.
Right.
Okay, gotcha. And the police department. Okay.
And since we're today is like I think this just was week 10.
Okay.
So next week will be the night that we go and talk to the people and tell them what we're all about, and then the following Thursday will be graduation.
Awesome.
And so
How long is the academy?
it's about 12 weeks.
12 weeks. Okay.
So
Yeah.
one day a week.
One day a week for 3 hours. It starts at 6:00, and the whole leadership of the police department shows up on the first night, and they show up on the last night.
So
They show up the first night because they want to introduce themselves and show that there's the support of the chief down.
For sure.
And they also show up because we bring food.
Yeah.
And then they show up on the last night because there's a potluck.
Right.
And we
Sure.
provide a graduation cake.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So
do you guys, when let's say there's the pickle parade or some type of the Christmas parade or other things, do you guys help do anything as far as direct people or anything for the?
we do. Dana's been doing it longer than I have. As you can tell, he looks older than me. He really isn't. He really isn't. But yes, we do that. We help volunteer. There's another program in there. It's called Volunteers in Police Service, and everyone that wants to volunteer for the police department has to go through that process. And a good majority of our members have been through the process. So yes, we do. We if you were at the pickle parade this year, there were certain areas around the pickle parade, and there were volunteers at those assignments.
Oh, awesome.
There was a police officer close by in case they had issues. But we help them. We're right there with them. And in the case of this year, we shuttled pizza and water and those kinds of
y'all are
things.
just the food.
It's
Y'all are
also
supplying
very
them with
important.
food.
So we got to make sure
They're
everybody
fed.
stays hydrated.
Right.
Yeah.
For sure.
And
So y'all both went through the Citizens Academy. How long ago was that, and what was that experience like for each of you?
well, I went through it in 2003,
Okay.
and of course I joined the alumni, as soon as I graduated class. And it was a blast going through it, because we had a lot of different stuff that we did, but the one exciting thing that I had was the building search.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because people go in. We were at
Were you at Skyline?
no, I wasn't at. Yeah, I was at Skyline.
Yeah.
We were at Skyline then. And there was people hiding in the building, and we had to go in just like we were a police officer with a flashlight and a play gun. And
Wow. Was your heart racing?
Oh yeah.
I can
You had
imagine.
to go in there and
It's exciting.
search, and there's many places to hide.
Yeah.
Many places. And but going in there, trying to do that. And then, of course, at the end of it, they always brought the dog in, and somebody was actually hiding in a bat suit somewhere, and they sent the dog in to find that person.
To find out.
So,
I bet it's cool to watch the dog work too, because I've always thought that was so interesting.
well, I know
That's one of the hardest things for me about going through the airport is I always see the dog and I'm like telling myself the whole time, don't touch the dog.
Yeah.
Don't pet the dog. And they always have the little badge thing that's like,
Don't
I'm
pet
working,
me.
don't pet me.
Yeah.
at one of our Christmas potluck dinners, one time we used to have them at MISD building, and one of the dogs was there, and I was standing outside, and I saw the dog coming, and I stopped, didn't move, and Officer Hash at the time, he said, Dana, you need to move. He's going to think you're a tree.
Now,
That's awesome.
I have to tell stories about Dana. 'Cause
Yes, please.
I've seen Dana in the bite suit.
Uh-oh.
I've seen him in the bite suit.
It's on our website, our
Yeah.
Facebook
Our
website.
Facebook page. And also at a open house for the police department, Dana was McGruff.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
wow.
Now, you can't tell it's him, but
Right.
I know.
Yeah.
So what inspires you to volunteer to be in the bite suit?
Well, they just come up and ask me.
And you don't
I
say
said,
no.
Heck
And you
yeah,
said,
I'll
okay.
get in it.
For great.
They
Well,
didn't
yeah,
teach you
sounds
that
good.
no was a complete
Yeah.
sentence.
No,
So what about you, Kevin? When did you go through the
I
academy?
graduated, I think it was 2016.
Okay.
What class number were you?
I was 9.
He was 9, I was 16.
Okay.
Or
Okay.
class 19.
And so why did you want to get involved, and what was some takeaways for you?
Well, the big thing was I spent 20 years in the military.
Oh, awesome.
Oh,
Thank you for your
and-
service.
Oh, you're welcome.
Which
And
branch?
Navy.
Thank
The only one, really.
Yeah.
Sorry. Were you a Marine?
Okay.
Wow.
No, Air Force.
He was an
Well,
airman.
then the only thing I
Top
can
guy.
ask you is how's your handicap?
Wow.
Wow.
I love it.
Oh, boy.
But at the end of my first tour, I actually considered becoming a police officer. And I won't go into that story, but it wasn't nothing of my doing. It just something God must have said, you don't want to be a police officer now. And I went on and finished my career, and I retired in 1990. And then continue working because you can't really retire.
Right.
And then as I retired, I got interested in the community, and saw the Citizens Police Academy and went through it. It was a lot of fun. And the other thing too is that the enthusiasm within the police department about this academy is that they always change things. They're always getting more things that are better. Like when we did a shoot, don't shoot, it was just a partner, myself, and a police officer. Now they have a video screen.
Oh, wow.
And it has an air gun.
Oh.
And they run you through the scenario, and you have to physically pull the trigger.
Oh, wow.
So you actually get the sensation of whether he shot you or she shot you or you shot them. They'll fall if you hit them. And so you see that on a screen. And sometimes that's a little unnerving for people. True, you didn't shoot them, but the other one that's kind of cool is they do the goggles for impairment, drunk driving.
Oh,
They
yeah.
have a set of goggles that just kind of.
That is hilarious to watch.
I mean, you watch some people and they can't walk a straight line.
Wow.
It gives you the sensation of what it's like to be.
So before they had the goggles,
You just drank.
so back in the 70s, they just gave you stuff to drink.
Well, years ago, they were having a class for, I think it was like 12 police officers, and I was invited to go. And when I got there, you're going to be drinking whiskey. I said, oh, no, I'm not. And so the then president of alumni, he went and got me a 6-pack Coors Light. So I had to drink 2 beers, get tested, got a 5-minute break. I had a time limit for all this that I had to do it, and then after I got done with the 6th, then they gave us pizza, got tested, and then we went into
This sounds like a terrible idea.
it was. But anyhow, I went in, and they came in pairs, and I had to do all the
Like
stuff.
walking a line and all that kind of stuff.
line,
And
I was tested and everything.
I passed everything, and I blew a 1.3.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
But
How did that?
I do have to
Are you a
admit,
robot?
I had to cheat a little bit on the pen test because they come over here and it's shorter, and then when they go way out here, that's how they get the eye deflection. Well, I was looking at his elbow, not the pen. So I cheated a little bit.
Wait a minute, now you're giving away secrets.
One of my favorite, I think it was a cops episode, and they pull this guy over. I don't even think he was driving. I think he was walking, and he was drunk, and they give him a breathalyzer. Well, they hand him the breathalyzer, and he puts it up to his mouth and just tips his head back like he's drinking. They're like, okay, yeah,
You're
that's,
done.
yeah. So tell me, what is a reason someone would want to go through the academy? What can they expect to get out of those 12 weeks? What are they learning? What are they?
Well, the big thing is awareness of what a police officer does on a daily basis. I think that's the biggest thing.
What they have to go through every day.
A lot of people don't know that, there's 2 things in the city of Mansfield that's unique. This is a town of 70,500 people. Did you know we have a SWAT team?
The only reason I know is my cousin was on the SWAT team.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you know they have a drone unit?
I didn't.
Yes, I know that they had a drone unit because we saw them at the pickle parade.
At the pickle parade,
And
right.
my husband is so into videography and all that kind of stuff that he sat there
Her
talking
first
to him for
Yeah.
a while. And then one of them was like, "Okay, we have to like work now.
Yeah, they were
Can you move
actually.
along?
I didn't know
they
that,
were
though.
off of
That's cool.
Walnut. They were behind the western facade of downtown. They were back in there, and they had Burleson, I think, was here with theirs as well. So you don't really know that a town of this size
Would have that,
SWAT
yeah.
team, and how important the drones are today in police work.
For sure.
They've got such a sophisticated team as well. They know what they're doing and they know how to use their equipment and all of that. So I was very impressed.
Well, one thing that, just to tell you the kinds of things we provide for them, they got in a situation where they didn't have drone batteries. And
They were dying out.
They were dying
real
out
fast.
quick. And we actually went out and bought 4 of them for them, and they're not cheap. They're $400 a piece.
Well, and what a lot of people don't understand, because you know, the police department is a government entity,
Right.
and so you can't really like fundraise like you would for, you know, a nonprofit or whatever. It's different.
Yeah.
And then you've got things like budget and things that will restrict you. So I do some work with the Texas Parks and Wildlife, and we have a group, we call it a friends group or whatever, where we can fundraise and we can earmark money for specific things, where if the state was given money or a grant, they have to kind of spread it
Right.
around the program. It can't go directly to something. So,
Yeah, and that's what we do.
so you guys are raising money and funds. So if they need something like that, they can go and say, "Hey, that's awesome."
Now, do you guys do ride-alongs with the police?
We can, yes. They were suspended during COVID, and I'm not sure whether they're back yet or not.
I don't think they're back yet.
They're not
Okay.
back yet, but yes, I've done a ride along,
Awesome.
and it was kind of interesting.
So we actually had, he was Officer Bledsoe, now he's Detective Bledsoe, but that's my cousin. We had him on the podcast, oh gosh,
It was a while
A
back.
few months ago.
6 months ago or so. So, and I've got several family members and friends that are on the force, and in even just knowing a little bit more than maybe somebody that didn't know, that there's still so much that we don't know about the department. There's so much. The day to day, I think, like you were saying, is huge. We're so oblivious and we take it for granted, not knowing what people do, and they're risking their lives to protect us.
Right.
What is something you think that you wish the youth knew about police and police work?
Well, I have another thing I wanted to talk about.
Please.
Sure.
One thing that we work hand in hand with the Community Relations Division, and that is headed up by Sergeant Jared McGinley. And there's two other officers in there, Scott Reinhardt, who does he's the CPA, he runs the class,
Okay.
and Trey Kerr, Officer Trey Kerr. And Trey is in charge of an Explorer post. And if a youth wants to learn about police work and still be part of scouting,
Right.
you can join the Explorer post. And again, I refer you to the police website, and it'll show that they have an Explorer post, and you're going to join that way.
Awesome. Okay.
And so I think that's a way the youth can understand. And the big thing is respect the uniform, do what he tells you to do,
That's correct.
Yeah.
and things will be a lot better for you in the long run.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you don't want to accidentally fall to the ground.
Well, and you think through too, there's so much that kids are seeing online that aren't in Mansfield and that are other places in the world. And, you know, there's a group of people that that don't respect the police, you know, and it has nothing to do with race or where you're from. It's just a lack of respect for the uniform or authority in general, regardless of if it's military, police, or whatever.
Right.
And so I think some kids are even the opposite side, are so scared that they forget it's a person, you know, and that it's somebody that's there to help and not to hurt. And so I think what y'all are doing is awesome. I think getting the word out to the community and how to get involved is huge too.
And that's part of our job, is to promote goodwill between the citizens of Mansfield and the police department.
For sure. So the website, and so just the city of Mansfield website or the police
It's
department website?
the police department website has
Okay.
those. If you go to the city of Mansfield, it'll show you
Get you
that you
to-
go to the police
Okay.
and then take you there.
Perfect.
We'll be sure to link all of that.
Yeah, we can
Yeah.
link that so people can find it.
Now,
Do you guys have any upcoming events or anything that
well, probably the
people can
next, not us specifically, but the next event in the city will be the 4th of July.
Oh, okay.
so there'll be the July 3rd
Yeah,
thing at Field of Dreams, right?
if it, depending on how it falls, but it'll be the Rockin' 4th of July. It'll
Right.
be the next big thing in the city.
Awesome.
So
All right.
There'll be a ton of volunteers out there
Yeah.
today.
Hey, that's good because a lot of people can't find volunteers. So that's awesome if you've got good help.
You know, we in the past, we've actually done traffic and worked the parking lots. You know, at the end of the night, getting them in is pretty easy.
Getting them out.
yeah.
Because everybody wants to leave at the same time.
Yeah.
And they're
There's been
impatient.
many a night I was out there and everybody's trying to come out in one section and I'm having to stop everybody, let a certain group come through, then I start releasing other groups. And, you know, they get pretty upset at me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I live in Mansfield National, which is right there. And
yeah.
so we get issues with people parking on our street and blocking driveways and
Right.
all of that. So when I first moved in, I had no idea why on July 3rd people were putting cones in front of their driveway. And then after that first year, I was like, okay, well, now I know why.
cones.
If I needed to leave, there's no way I'm getting out of my house.
Well, we have a little section that we like to call.
Tales from the Lockbox. And, you know, this is a true story from Cura. And so I'll just read it and change just a few words. But when I was a patrol officer, my beat had the only Krispy Kreme donut shop in town. And they would serve free coffee to the police. And I do enjoy my coffee. Needless to say, I would swing by there during the shift to check on them and get my daily dose of caffeine goodness. So one evening, I was in there drinking my cup of Colombian Supreme and chatting with the manager. Several people came in, and one of them was a lady that kept looking at me. I politely nodded to her and raised my cap as if to say hello. And that's when she said, "Cop in a donut shop. Ha ha ha. That's so funny." So it's not like I haven't heard that 1,000 times, and without missing a beat, I said, "Yep, they've got great coffee," and I left it at that. But there was a man that was in line behind her and shouted, "Judging by the size of her butt, they must have been great donuts too." Oh my God, everybody was like, they're laughing. She got furious and stormed out of the door, leaving behind her donuts. I made eye contact with the man who just gave me a thumbs up. I kept drinking my coffee without saying a word.
That's awesome. It's one of those instant karma stories.
Yep.
He didn't have to do anything. Someone's had his back.
Well,
That's
I will
great.
tell you this. We never serve donuts
Okay.
when we feed the cops. Never.
Why? I enjoy donuts.
Well, we figure they're going to get them on their own. So
Oh, okay.
that's one of the things we don't. We don't ever make breakfast for them. We're not the fire department.
There you go.
Oh, okay.
So
No pancakes and donuts.
Yes. Well, Jaisy's got a little level up for us.
Yes. So I've got a quote from Adam Grant, and he says, "Changing your mind doesn't mean you've abandoned your principles. It means you may have learned something. It's better to contradict yourself and be accused of hypocrisy than to stick to your guns and sacrifice your integrity. The hallmark of integrity is honesty, not consistency." Something that my husband and I talk about all the time is there shouldn't be anything that you are so stuck in that you are unwilling to change your mind on. If there's new information or if you learn something, maybe something gets discovered, you meet someone new or something like that, you should always be open to hearing someone out. And I think the moment that you that's not an option for you, you're not living anymore, you're just stuck. So my tip or my level up would be to be open-minded. Don't be so stuck in the mud.
My friend Teresa says, "I never learned anything from somebody that agreed with me." And that was
that's
huge. And I'm like, that's so
100%
true.
correct.
Yeah.
100% correct.
and that's why the opportunity to go to the Citizens
sorry.
Police Academy is a good opportunity for people to learn about the police department. We have when you go to the class, and Dana will agree with me, you have occasionally you have a teenager. They have to be 18 to go. And then you'll have a lot of people that are in their 60s and sometimes even 70s and everything in
Well, you
between.
can still go, Bill.
Yeah.
So,
Sarah, this is a microphone.
We'll all go together.
so that's the beauty of it is you get to hear a wide variety of stories.
For sure.
You have you cover all of the ethnic groups. You know, we have people from all walks of life.
You can still go,
You can still
Jaisy.
go, yeah.
Yes.
And so that's the beauty of it. You learn about the police department. You learn what they do every day.
For sure.
A simple thing of like when an officer comes up behind a car, they may touch the back of the car, and you probably know what this. It leaves their DNA and their fingerprints on the car. So if they get drug off, or something happens. If they find the make and model, they can identify the fingerprints on the back of the car. It's just a tap
Oh, wow.
on the hood or on the trunk or on the back tailgate.
Mm-hmm.
Just a simple thing like that may save an officer's life.
For
You
sure.
just never know. And that's the beauty of this because you learn. The chief is there on opening night. he tells how proud he is of the people that show up at the class and the support of the leadership from the police department. And then on the last night, he asked them, what did you learn? What did you find out? Like the question, what did you learn that you didn't know before you came here?
Sure. I'm
And
sure
you'll
that
get-
list is long.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
it
And
is.
so you hear people, different classes pique interest in the police department.
For sure.
And I'm sure that if you went through the class and you put on a SWAT vest, you wouldn't know how heavy that was.
Oh, yeah.
Probably.
And then in the summer in Texas.
And hold up a SWAT shield. Or
What's
put
that?
on the SWAT shield, the helmet, and the
Yeah.
vest.
It sounds like something that I think everyone would benefit for. I do want to give a shout out to Matt Smith. He introduced us to these fellows. He went through the academy as
He did.
well. And so he had nothing but good things to say about you guys. But we appreciate your time today.
Thank y'all so
We're
much.
going to put some information down below so you all can find the websites and ways to give back and to sign up. With that,
We out.
out.
Bye.
Just had a chat, talk this and that with PB and Jaisy.